Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order July 28th BZBA Board of Appeals meeting at 7 p.m. Jen, can you take attendance, please?
Chairman Kempa.
Here.
Commissioner Taman is absent by prior notice. Commissioner DeGraff.
Here.
Commissioner Patel.
Here.
Commissioner Saywert. Here. Commissioner Weigel is absent by prior notice. Commissioner Simmons.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Thank you. The first item of business is the approval of the April 28th regular meeting minutes. Are there any corrections as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Jen, roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Saywert.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
And Chairman Kempa.
Aye. There's no old business. We'll jump into new business right away. The first case is a public hearing, PZBA case number ZBA 22-14V. The applicant is Jen and Monica Vajeja. Address is 41 South Wildwood Drive. And the description of the request is a variation to encroach 10 feet into the required side yard for garage addition onto a principal structure. Can I please have a motion to open up the hearing, case number ZBA 22-14V?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Can we do a voice call?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Do you want to give the testimony first?
I'll give a little description.
Okay.
of the case.
Thank you.
Good evening, PZBA members. This first case is at 41 Wildwood Drive. The applicant is seeking a side yard lot variation from the required 15 feet to 5 feet for the purpose of constructing an attachment to the principal structure, primarily defined as a garage, an additional garage bay. This will be for section 5-6-1 of the E2 of the city zoning code, and the applicant is here this evening, so we can proceed.
So if there's anybody, the applicant and anybody else that would like to speak to this case, if I could have you stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. If the applicant would like to come up and present the case, it'd be great.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
John Vajeja, 41 South Wildwood Drive, Prospect Heights, Illinois, 60070.
If you could provide a description of your request.
I just wanted to extend it, my garage. I need more space to park because I have a lot of stuff and I wanted to extend it a little bit. Like I have 15 feet setback yard from my owner, so 10 foot and 5 feet be like a space. So that's what I can't build a garage in the back because it's slope on my backyard. So, and also it's water problem. Like
How much slope?
well, it's gonna be, I don't know, a couple feet, I believe.
There's approximately a 4-foot drop from
Yeah.
about 20 feet off the back of the house to the back lot line, so it's a significant. Additionally, there's a part of a floodplain that does project into the southwest corner of his lot.
So
All right.
if I have this, I just build the garage. I'd be happy, make a little more space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
My name's Tom Weedman. I live at 39 South Wildwood Drive. That's the house just east of John's property. And just to give you a little history on this, both my house at 39 and John's house at 41 were moved onto the lot from the Palatine Road Express when that was put in. When I bought my house, it had a single-car garage only on it, and the staircase was in the front of the house. And that being said, it was because they picked these houses up and moved them over onto a foundation. So I came in and I got a variance in 1990 to extend my garage into the side yard. And there's have never been a problem with it. When John bought his house, I'm sure he didn't realize that I had taken some of that in a variance that I received. And now he's asking to do the same thing. His house is sort of unique. As you look at the front garage, you would think he has a lot of garage space for cars. But what they did when they picked his house up over there, they put the staircase in the garage, and it took up almost 4 feet of that first bay of his. So really, when you look at his big garage door, he can only fit 1 car in there. So I would support wholeheartedly giving John that variation. There's another variation on the same street at 21 South Wildwood Drive that got an 8-foot variation for a garage too. So I think it's a good plan, and he's a great neighbor.
Okay, great, thank you.
If there's nobody else to provide testimony, I did want, the city did receive a letter from the neighbor at 43 South Wildwood Drive, which is in the property immediately to the west of the applicant, from Mr. Timothy and Mrs. Susan Jones, dated July 26th. Dear Chairman of the PZB&A, 8 North Elmhurst Road, this is in reference to this case tonight. Members of the board, I write this letter in support of the variation with a few concerns. When asked about this proposed encroachment into the required side yard, we discussed 2 options, one being the proposed encroachment to build the 10 by 20 foot attached garage to the primary structure, the second being a separate 720 square foot detached garage in the rear yard. After the review of the proposed attached garage plan has less impact on our view from our patio and rear yard of the prairie and bike path, we are in favor of the attached with the following conditions that I have discussed with the applicant. No windows or doors on the west elevation of the garage to protect our bedrooms of light infiltration. No exterior lighting on the west elevation. The remaining 5 feet remains a no parking area. Our neighbor is a great person who works hard and helps anyone he can. I understand his need for storage and hope this project will keep him in the neighborhood for years to come. Respectfully, Timothy Jones. This will become exhibit number, I don't see it, exhibit number 10. Thank you.
11.
Or, excuse me, 11.
You have 10 here.
Yep, excuse me. Thank you very much, Chairman Patel. Or, excuse me, Commissioner Patel.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So could the applicant speak to the letter? Would you agree to no windows or doors on the west elevation?
Yes.
And also no exterior lighting on the west elevation?
Yes.
So your plan currently shows a door on that side.
The door be in the front.
So the plan that you have here, with the red, has a side door.
I don't have this door. There's only be 1 door in the front and 1 door in the back. That's
Okay, and then I drove by there today. Your electrical service would be now in your storage room.
no.
Is it?
My electrical service be almost close to the new addition,
Okay.
but it's gonna be outside of the addition.
John, I believe when you and I discussed this, the new addition does not go all the way back to the rear of the house.
That's
Is that correct?
Yeah.
If the ZBA would look at Exhibit 3, the Plata survey, And I believe, actually, it shows it on Exhibit 4.
Yes.
The proposed attachment only goes 20 feet of the 31-foot length of that side garage, so that should address the concern about the electrical service.
I mean, he's have to move it, I'm sure. That's the
Correct.
thing, is I'm sure your service is going underground to it, so it's something you'll have to just be mindful of. Your footing foundations you'll have to probably reroute your electrical service, I would guess, to the building. Because you can't have your primary service underneath your building.
I have underground service, but the meter is on the back side because the main pole with the wire power come in is like back of the house.
Oh, it's coming from the back. Okay,
Yeah.
then you should be fine.
Before I have overhead service, but I just have this and do underground.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners? No. If there is nobody else to speak to the case, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing at 7:11.
Well, actually, I have one more question for you, I'm sorry. Are you planning to do a brick addition to match the house?
For sure front, but side probably a hardboard siding. Yeah, but front I wanted match like house, so I just wanted to put like the same brick what I have already.
Sorry. Thank you.
All right.
Can I have that motion
You may now have it.
to close the public hearing at 7:12?
I'll make,
Also-
go ahead.
Also move.
A second.
Thank you. Jen, roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward,
Aye?
Commissioner Simmons,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye.
This will be, oh, excuse me, I jumped ahead. I forgot about the conditions, I'm sorry.
I don't have any concerns. I don't know if anybody else has any other concerns. If we can add the stipulations that we've discussed, then we can move forward.
The only comment that I would like to place, that we would place those requirements in as far as the windows and the lights and the door on the west elevation, I believe. I'd like to incorporate that in.
We'll make it part of the conditions. Okay, in that case, can I please have,
Can we make the brick part of the condition too?
It was testified to, but yeah, if you'd like to make that, that could
Oh,
be
well, I
added
mean,
as well.
it's just for the amount of size of that house, and it would look kind of quirky if it didn't have at least
Okay.
a matching brick. And if he's willing to
Okay.
do it, I think we keep at least the front facade.
Okay,
brick.
that's an appropriate condition.
okay. All right, so then can I please have a motion to accept into the record the exhibit presented this evening?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please. Jen?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward,
Aye?
Commissioner DeGraff,
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons,
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Now I'd like a motion to recommend approval of case number 22-14V to encroach 10 feet into the 15 feet required side yard setback to construct a garage addition to the primary structure with the following conditions. No windows or doors on the west elevation, no lights on the west elevation, 5 feet remain a no parking area, and brick as a front
To
facade
match.
to match the house.
For the condition of the 5 feet, could we be a little bit more specific and say it should be an
Green space.
unobstructed, unpaved, 5-foot side yard with proper drainage? Because I think the drainage is going to be important to also tie into that 5-foot,
Correct.
especially since you've got the slope and you've got to get the water to the back like that. So,
Okay.
so again, it would be the same conditions as the chairman just read, except that we would maintain an unobstructed, unpaved 5-foot side yard with proper drainage.
Sounds good to me. We'll amend the condition.
Okay. All right,
In essence, you have to make sure that the water can get from the front to the back
we're back.
with landscaping, that's it.
And that's, we will ensure that when we come in for the permit.
So again, can I have the motion to recommend approval of case 22-14V?
Also, oops, sorry. Also move with those conditions.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Jen.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Chairman Kent.
Aye.
Then this will be up on the August 22nd city council meeting. There is no meeting on the 8th next month, so it'll be up on the 22nd. Thank you very much.
Okay, next case is a PZBA case number 22-16V. It's a public hearing. Applicant is Robert and Evelina Wojciewicz at 113 Garden Lane. The applicant is requesting variation to allow a reduction in front, side, and rear yard setback from 5 feet to 0 feet for driveway extension. Can I please have the motion to open up case number ZBA 22-16V at 7:17 PM?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please, Jen.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kent.
Aye. So if the applicant is here, if there's anybody else, I could swear you in right now. You can stand up.
Okay.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you. Director Peterson, do you want to give us a little background first?
Yes. The applicant applied for and received a permit in 2016 for a detached garage and driveway to the rear garage. Subsequently, earlier this summer, we observed work being done without a permit at the property. Upon investigation of that, it was determined and discovered that the existing driveway in its current condition is outside the scope of the original permit and in violation of the city's zoning code because it does encroach into the required side yard and it is placed on a 10-foot utility easement. So the applicant was given notice and has subsequently applied for the permit. Additionally, there are other violations on the property that are being addressed. The applicant has submitted permits for some of the items and is working to comply with the other items that are in violation. But tonight is the expansion of the driveway into that side yard and the gravel side that goes all the way down from the front yard, all the way down through the side yard into the rear yard.
Okay. Sir, if you want to present your case?
Yeah. I got a permit for a driveway in a garage. When I built the driveway, I couldn't pass.
Excuse me,
Oh,
Robert,
sorry.
you have to actually state your name and address for the record. I'm sorry.
Robert Wojciewicz, 113 Garden Lane, Prospect Heights.
Thank you.
So when we get the permit for a driveway, how it's drew on the plans, I wouldn't be able to park my cars on the back. So I wouldn't fit I wouldn't be able to drive back with any of my van or pickup truck, not say even without the trailer. Because even now I scrape my truck on the soffit and the gutter, which is extend like what is drew on the plans an additional 3 feet. So it leave me with like 17 feet to property line, and I have to go on the curve because the pole for a electrical pole, so it's like really tight curve how for me to park over there. So, and I get the inspection for a base and everything for a driveway, and my neighbor on 111 have the driveway to property line, how it was from when I moved over there, and I wasn't aware I have to go through zoning with that, so.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners,
Is
for
your,
the applicant?
I drove by there today.
Yep.
It seems like your driveway not only extends to the property line, but past the property line.
No,
Is that not the case here?
On the satellite photo, it seems that way.
There is a margin of error on here. It's not 100% accurate.
Are the light poles on his property line?
The light,
On the electric poles?
Here's
They're down.
yeah, on mine, yes. Light poles inside mine, yeah.
this is the easement.
Okay.
Have you contacted the Commonwealth Edison
No,
for doing improvements in their easement?
no, but I can, it will be done,
Okay, I see it now.
but I don't think they ran anything underground, or just, you know.
And how wide is your Sprinter van?
About, I'm not sure, 8 feet, maybe less, no, 7. But, you know, you have to make a curve, because the pole is over there, it's not like, and my soffit, it's like almost with the gutter, almost like 34 inches from the plans. Because how they drew the plat of survey, they measured from the foundation.
So, part of the process, there's a bunch of questions that we have to ask ourselves, and we have to answer them. So one of the questions is the hardship. Like, what would you describe your hardship is?
My hardship, first of all, I have to somehow, if you guys make me do it, remove it, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. Plus, I'm not gonna be able to park on the back. If I have to move like 10 feet or 5 feet, I'm not gonna be able to drive with my trailer to the back, because I have, you know, it's a long pickup with the trailer. It's like over almost 40 feet, so it's really tight even now. I scrape my van, so. And at the beginning, I applied for a gravel driveway, but I couldn't do it, so, you know, it have to be hard driveway, and I just wasn't aware of everything.
Thank you.
So you went from, we're needing you have a 3-foot overhang, you said?
Yeah, almost. It's like 28 inches plus gutter.
Okay, to plus, let's say an 8-foot, 11-foot need, to almost a 19-foot wide driveway.
Right now.
So we have to take this as, we can't give you special treatment because you've done it before and asked for forgiveness. It's if you were coming in as any other person that said, okay, I want this from day one, what would we allow you to do? You follow what I'm saying? If tomorrow, if you needed 10
I
feet,
understand that.
we'd potentially look at giving you 10 feet. Taking all 19 is almost like, to me, it's like, why did you take more than you needed?
It's not like more, if I gave you my car and you can try to drive it.
Yeah, but there's also limitations. If someone says, look, I have a boat I need to get back there, we have to be cognizant of what we'll allow our residents to do to get back there and how reasonable it is.
Yeah,
To me, we are very cognizant of Sprinter vans and trailers and trying to be lenient on what we allow them to do to get back there, but there's amount of leniency that's allowed. To me, I don't recall us ever allowing us to go to a lot line. Drainage is a problem right now.
no, it's not a problem.
It could be.
But
I'm
it's
saying?
not.
You don't know
It's
that.
No, I know that, because everything, my gutter, everything is under driveway with the pipes. No
It's-
drainage problem.
No, did a civil engineer design this?
I'm
Did
sorry.
a civil engineer design this?
No, but you can check.
But
I mean,
I'm just saying, it could be.
it's always could be.
Right. That's all, you have to get a permit to check it. This way, you get permission to do it. And then none of that's been answered. You can just say it's not, but we have neighbors, we have other people that potentially want to do this, and we set precedents by anything we decide. And if there isn't a true hardship shown, it's hard to allow something like this, in my opinion. And then it's a massive driveway to the side. Looking at it, it looks considerably bigger than it needs to be to get a Sprinter van back there.
No, it's not, because I have a trailer and I have to back it up. I even sometimes have to go in the grass.
My biggest concern is if we grant a variation, we're granting a variation to be in a public, in a utility easement. We can't allow that.
But if you move from utility easement, that's gonna leave me with this 7 feet of driveway.
It's not allowed to be in a utility easement, period.
But
So, and
I
the hardship
didn't
was,
want the
the
driveway.
hardship was created by yourself.
no
It
city
wasn't,
make me make the driveway, and I have the, like, sign.
the original driveway that was approved runs down the side of the utility easement, and you got a copy of this.
And I have
And
a
you've
copy.
extended it.
I have a copy of the, like, the city inspector show up and approve the base and everything.
And it was probably done after he left.
I have pictures.
But you applied for something.
I'm sorry.
You applied for a permit that showed a driveway 10 feet wide, or whatever the width of this driveway is. When you decided to go past this, why wasn't it reapplied for?
I didn't aware I have to go through the, believe me, I would go. I did the addition 2 years ago, and I mean, I wouldn't build
But
a
you understand there's
30,000
a-
driveway without the permit.
But you understand there's a plan that was approved with a driveway showing it with
Yes,
the
and
width.
when I was talking to inspector who shows up on the property, I didn't make it by myself. I'm just gonna extend it, and I'm just gonna try to, live with it. I did the permit, I did a big addition 2 years ago, so you would see it, I was like 100%, everything's fine, because I have a final and everything, I'm not sure what to tell you. In my opinion, it's a big misunderstanding, because even the inspector told me if the Comet want to do something over there, I have to remove it for my own cost. And I said, it's fine. And he didn't tell me I have to go through zoning, because I would go. It's not like, I would,
Even if you came to zoning, we wouldn't approved it because it's in a utility easement. We cannot have structures in a utility easement. It doesn't matter if we're in Prospect Heights, Park Ridge, Niles, wherever. You can't be in a utility easement. It is what it is.
Any additional comments?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know what to say.
There's someone else that wanted to speak.
Thank you. Is anybody else from the public? If you'd like to come up and state your name and your address.
My name is Dale Foch. I'm at 2 Garden Court, right on the corner of Garden Lane and Garden Court. I can see his house, like kitty corner from my house. He's doing a great job trying to fix his property up. Nice. I know you guys got codes. I was a code inspector for Evanston and Skokie, and I know there's things that, I could see the 5-foot setback for a building. I don't understand for the driveway, but that's not up to me anyway. And as far as the electrical goes, they can park on top of the driveway and run wires if they had to. I don't know why that would be such a problem. But I'm in support of the fact that you guys would give them a variance. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. If you could come up, please. Yep.
Needs- yeah.
If I could have you raise your right hand for swearing in.
Sure.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's really just a question.
That's fine.
If you could state your name and your address for the record,
My
please.
name is John Soto. I live at 36 Wildwood Drive. So I got a letter in the mail, certified mail. Just wondering if it pertains to me.
The address, can I see
Yeah.
what you had? This was the case that was just here.
That was this on the right?
No, before him.
Okay.
No, subject is.
No, it's a garden, it's the
111.
next
It's
case.
the next case.
Okay, there's two of them, there's properties right next to each other. But if your address was,
36 Wildwood Drive, I'm literally, I guess, behind.
how did this address, you should have got one for
First
the
one.
first case that was here. Huh, because the applicants filled this, so I'm not sure how this one got there, but this case is next.
That,
But the case that impacts your property was the one that was just approved on Wildwood.
well, thank you so much for
Oh,
that.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Okay, if there's no other comments from the public and no other questions from the commissioners, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing at 7:31.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Any comments from, any more discussion from the commissioners regarding this?
I would have to concur that the standards for variations have not been met. I think, you know, it's pretty black and white how we can approve something for a variance, and in this case, the hardship was directly caused by the person. There really isn't a special condition or circumstance peculiar to the land, structure, or building involved. So the checklist that we have to go through does not substantiate a variation, in my opinion. And also the fact that he's trying to do improvements in a ComEd easement, unless he would have a written okay from ComEd, I don't see how we could move ahead with this.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard to find, even though I sympathize with you, it's very difficult to find a positive where we can, something that we could grab onto that we could say, okay, yes, this makes sense. From your perspective, I understand. But when we answer these questions, every single question is a no. So I'm having a hard time.
What about if I get that approval from comment?
The big issue and the question that just, and we went through this, you got a copy of the standards that we talked about, is that the hardship of the variation, the encroachment into the side yard, you did without a permit. Now you're asking for forgiveness. Thus, you created this, you self-created the hardship. If the permission would have been asked and this body would have met on this application prior to the installation, you may not have gotten it all. You may have gotten some. You may have been told to contact ComEd to see if they would move a pole, which they would do. And I've had that happen in other towns that I've been an official. But that's where the standards have to be met.
But then if I'm gonna move the driveway off another 10 feet, which is gonna leave me with the 6 feet of driveway.
19 feet.
I'm sorry, how much?
You have 19 feet 9,
I
it
have
says.
19 feet, which easement is a 10, yeah? It's gonna leave me 9 minus the Soffit, it's gonna be not even 6. That I'm not gonna be able to pass when I apply for a permit for a garage. I want a gravel driveway, and the city made me do a hard driveway. It was inspector over there, show up, approve the base, and when I talked with this inspector, he told me I can do it, and because my neighbor had a driveway to my property line, it wasn't make sense to leave like, I mean, I wouldn't do it without, without the permit. I have like 10 semis track, moving the dirt from there, because I have over a feet of road gravel over there. It's not like I made it by myself. It was like an inspection of a base for the driveway, like the beginning of this September 2016.
So when you originally did this drawing, Did you not know you didn't have enough
I
space?
mean, I wasn't aware, because I wasn't planning to use the driveway, to park the garage, to park every time. I just want a gravel driveway like it's on the plans. And even though it's here on the papers, it says if I want to drive and park something, I need a hard drive. And when I build it, when the inspectors show up and we talk about it, and I asked my neighbor at the time, and he wasn't have a problem, to drain the water from my gutters. I put a pipe underneath, so it wasn't, flowing anywhere. So if I knew it, I would get it from the beginning. And when I, apply for addition, that's something you guys catch. It's over there for 7 years, so it's not like I did it like 2 months ago.
Can you speak to the back of the garage? There is, in the plans, in the plot of survey, we see that there is
Yeah, it's like
there is a roof.
just, because I run a construction business, and I store some stuff over there, and I just build a roof over there, and the latest I close it, but I am gonna remove it and apply for another shed, which is gonna be out of the easement, but it take me like half day to remove it. It's just simple structure. It's not like, you can walk from the garage over there. It's just completely.
What? No, no, that's just an open patio.
It just take me half day to take it off.
Man, if there is any other structures, there'll be no grass in this backyard pretty soon.
Yeah, and his addition, he's got a new addition that comes out like this, and then he's got a roof like that, roughly.
Yeah, this doesn't look like this is up to date either, because I'm looking at Google Maps. There's this whole thing here
Yes,
that's not shown on here.
yes.
And this concrete patio pavers is like this.
Minimum coverage for,
Yeah,
Is it possible for you to use the attached garage for some of this equipment instead of having to move it to the detached garage in the back?
What do you mean?
You've got the concrete driveway in the front going into your,
Yeah.
so instead of taking it all the way to
Yeah,
the
but
backyard?
What's the purpose of the garage on the back then?
Well, access is a problem, obviously, so
Yeah,
can you use your existing garage?
not really. My wife parks with the kids. I have little kids, so. It's not like I'm using the garage to park the van over there. I need to drive to just park on the back.
How old is this part of survey now?
The one that shows the existing condition of the pavers and concrete was appears to be done in 2019, 3 years after I issued the permit for the detached garage and the original permit for the driveway.
And has there been a house addition since?
There was an addition that was placed onto the rear with an open patio, and then earlier this summer, the applicant was constructing a roof over the patio without a permit. And he has subsequently applied for that, had architectural plans, we have not had a chance to review it. We will be calculating all the improvements to see how close he is on lot coverage as well. Because we have a maximum 25% lot coverage on our lots.
It's,
Did you say that was done without a permit? That's what you were just saying?
The original permit, which was approved, and we have an inspection report for this that says the base was approved, and in reviewing the file, the base was for the original approved permit. The applicant is saying otherwise, but our file has an approved for the base related to this permit that showed, so we took it as this is the condition of the driveway as permitted in 2016. An addition was put on to the structure, in 2020? And then a large patio, and then at the time, The applicant also put a roof over a storage area behind the garage, which increased the garage more than the maximum square footage. Also, the roof that he's constructing now over the patio is done without a permit. And again, he just submitted plans for that, which we will review and then determine how much lot coverage he's covering with all this structure. Because the city zoning code only allows 25% lot coverage as well. So we have not had a chance to review it to that level yet. But when reviewing this case, the ZBA is supposed to go to the 10 standards that are listed in the zoning code for the basis of your deliberation and approvals. The other conditions, the other situations are not relevant to the case. The conditions that are relevant are there any special conditions that exist to the land structure of buildings which are not applicable to others in the same district that would cause or create a hardship? This is a pretty standard lot. Yes, it does have easement, but almost all properties within Prospect Heights have easements of some level. The second one was, would the literal interpretation deprive the applicant of his rights enjoyed by others? The answer to that one is we do not believe it would, because we've had other people apply for variations in the side yards prior to the construction of the work. The third condition is the alleged hardship has not been directly created by any person presently or predecessor in interest having proprietary interest in the property. The current hardship as testified to was that it would cost him money to remove it now that it's in. Not that there was the hardship prior to installing it, which some of these issues could have been resolved. But maybe a different design, maybe a movement of a utility pole, which would have had a cost of its own to the applicant, but I've had that experience in other towns. And that the proposed variation will not materially or be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or other in the neighborhood. He is making improvements to his property. There's no doubt about it, okay? The work he does is good quality work. That's not an issue. It's just the conditions that have to be satisfied are such that, you know, that's what's the PZBA has to determine and amongst your deliberation.
I'm also looking at this Plata survey from 2019 and some pictures I took today, and I feel like this isn't accurate in terms of concrete pavers either. It seems like there's more than even what this Plata survey is showing. It feels like this driveway is further back down the easement too. So there has to be some engineering impact too in terms of drainage, because most of our yards drain through the side. We might not feel it, but doesn't mean it's not there, in my opinion, as well.
Well, we've discussed this a lot. I think that we have to move forward, but I'm just going to explain that what this board does is we are what's called a recommending body. All we do is we basically, it's a chance for you to, you know, to present the case with people that have no say. All we do is recommend. So I would say that we are going to move forward with the process, and I would encourage you to take in everything that we've said, all the points that we've made, and prepare well for the council meeting, so that you can present your case with evidence, meaning that if there needs to be something from ComEd, you have it. If there needs to be something from an engineer, you have it. And in that case, maybe it can be viewed in a different light.
Yeah.
All right, if there's no other comment from the commissioners, I'd like a motion to accept into the record the exhibits presented this evening.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please vote.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Now, I would like a motion to recommend approval of case 22-14V, a variation to reduce a front yard setback from 5 feet to 0 feet.
I'll make that recommendation.
You said
It's- it's-
approval.
It's a reduction in the front, side, and rear yards, and it should be the 10 because of the easement.
Ah, okay.
Okay, to the, he's proposing 0,
Right.
okay? Because he could have a driveway up to 5 feet, you know,
Right.
without any variations. But because of the easement, he's restricted to 10 feet to the utility easement. So it's a 10-foot request from 10 feet to 0,
0
which is
feet.
the lot line.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Saywert,
No.
Commissioner Patel,
No.
Commissioner DeGraff,
No.
Commissioner Simmons,
No.
Chairman Kempa.
No.
This will be on the agenda for August 22nd. As the applicant has left, I will email him that notice.
Trying to get paperwork organized here. I might need it.
Okay.
So 11 Garden Lane.
The next case is a PZBA case number 22-15V, 111 Garden Lane. It's a public hearing, and the applicant is Dariusz Supinski and Agata Szczykowska. Again, their address is 111 Garden Lane. The applicant is requesting a variation to encroach from 5 feet to 0 feet side yard setback for a driveway encroachment. Can I please have a motion to open the public hearing at 7:47?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We could do a voice call, Jen.
Yeah.
All those in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Director Peterson.
The case before you is for an encroachment into the side yard. The applicants purchased the home approximately 2 years ago and applied for a building permit to maintain the existing driveway. As this case unfolded that we just heard, it was brought to our attention from the previous applicant that there was the encroachment, and looking, there was no record. However, aerial photos showed that that driveway in its current condition pre-existed 2002 aerial photographs. The city hall had a fire in 2007, and we lost a lot of records. We have no record of ever a permit that, but when we did the maintenance of the asphalt, we viewed this as a legal non-conforming. That was pre-existing, and they were maintaining something that was existing prior to their occupancy. And thus, but the applicants have come forward seeking a variation to make it a proper variation. And so that's what it's here.
Understand. If the applicant is here, if anybody else is here that would like to speak to the case, if I could swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. If you would like to come up and again state your name and address.
Agata Szczykowska at 111 Garden Lane, Prospect Heights, Illinois. Okay, we purchased this property in June 2020, which the driveway was already there with existing condition, which on the side and to this line. And in 2021, we applied for the permit, which we got approved. Permit was submitted. The inspection, the final inspection went through without any comments. So everything was done the same way. We have like neighbor, even if it's no setback, we'll have a drainage down to the yard, basically under the driveway. And everything was inspected and was approved.
The permit was for improving
The
improving the
driveway.
existing driveway?
Existing driveway,
Okay.
yes.
Improving it how?
Just resurfacing in the same conditions. No expansion, no,
And it's no even difference because it was asphalt before and which we did the same way.
and the city's zoning code does allow legal nonconforming improvements to be maintained, not to be expanded upon or enlarged.
So if they do have to go to,
If they
wanted to modify it,
they wanted to extend it further into the rear yard, or if they wanted to put any type of a covering over it, or they wanted to bring it out into the front yard more, any changes other than what was existing would require a permit, but would not be allowed because of the non-conforming condition, because there were no previous approvals, but it's been in place prior to 2002.
That's what Exhibit 5 is, the aerial photo from 2002.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the latest we were able to find, on the Google map, that's 2002.
Okay.
I am absolutely shocked that when they purchased this house, that the land surveyor who would do the survey didn't pick that up and present that to the attorney that would in turn work with the title company and all the way across the board. They do have a hardship as far as they bought something that was non-conforming, that was placed there prior to them purchasing the house. It is not in the utility easement like the property next door. I feel that how can we not grant them approval of this in the situation that they were put in?
and we don't know if it actually was, it could have been
It
approved at
may
one point.
have had a variance,
Yeah.
and
We
there's
just
no
don't know.
record to state otherwise.
Right.
So my question, I guess, is partly to Dan. I'm not sure why you need a variance, because this is legal non-conforming. And we have many properties in the city that have, are legal non-conforming. And we're not trying to do variances in the rears, just like the last case. So if they would want to, if they need to come in for a variance, it would be if they wanted to make a change. So in my opinion, we don't need a variance, and you're just maintaining.
Should we have possibly our attorney review that, as far as to see what his standard would be and continue this for the next meeting?
If that is the wishes of the ZBA, that would be no problem. I could ask for a legal opinion. And if the legal opinion is that it's a legal non-conforming, it was pre-existing, no changes were made, it was just maintained, and that was the opinion, then there would be no need for continuation of this hearing. So if that's what you would like, then that would be an appropriate motion.
Yeah, I feel that if we don't, there's not a requirement at all to do it, then why do it?
Besides wasting their time coming back twice. Yeah.
But, and then too, if that's the case where it really isn't, by zoning code, if they're complying under that section of the zoning code, then we could refund their money on this one as well, because it wouldn't need a public hearing.
Right.
So if that's the desire of the zoning board and what they would like to table this case until the August, I don't even know what the date of that meeting is. August, calendar. There we go. August 25th, while I get a legal opinion about the interpretation of the zoning code, that would be appropriate, then we would table this action tonight. I would contact the city attorney, present them the case, and get a legal opinion to decide, to dispense.
You also mentioned that the side yard, let's see, so for the building itself wasn't 15 feet, it was 12.9. So, that's also legal non-conforming.
Correct.
So you might want to get an opinion on both of those.
Yep.
So could I ask a question? If the attorney comes back and says it is legal non-conforming, then it would be done. It would not have to come back to see us or go through city council, and we could refund their money?
What we would have to do is we would have to reopen the hearing because it's continued. But then what we would end up doing is then making a motion to adjourn the public hearing because it's a non-case. But we will have to come back and at least finish and then close this hearing. So we're going to continue the public hearing, is what it sounds like. I'll wait till the ZBA makes their motion. Well, we can get an opinion.
So it's a request by PZBA, not by the applicant?
Correct.
Okay.
So,
So if okay with you, I'm going to propose a motion to table this meeting until August 25th, so that we could seek legal counsel, and at that point, we'll make a determination if this was required in the first place.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then,
well,
Oh,
yeah,
is-
we do need motions and votes. Or
Yep.
and then we'll close. We can't close the public hearing.
Right.
We're just going to
Right.
continue.
If there's anybody else within the public that would like to speak, then the case is still open, otherwise I'm going to close it. Or table it,
Continue.
yes.
Continue.
Okay.
So I'll make that motion to table it.
Yes. Can I please have a motion to table this meeting until August 25th?
Janet
Just
made
did.
it.
Hmm?
Janet
I
just
said
made it.
yes.
You
I'll
missed
so
it.
move.
Can I have a second?
I'll have you second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Saywert.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Okay. All right, next case is PZBA case number ZBA 22-18SU, 17 South Wolf, and the applicant is, oh my goodness, Elidia Mejia, I think? If I butchered it, I apologize. The address is 2075 Birch Street, Des Plaines, 60018. Description of the request, special use to operate a sit-down restaurant in the B1 Retail District. Can I please have the motion to open the public hearing on case ZBA 2218SU at 7:58?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Voice call, please.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Saywert.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. I see the applicant is already standing up. If there's anybody else that would like to speak, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. Do you want to give us a briefing, or do you need the applicant to?
I'll give a real quick
Okay.
high level. The applicants are seeking to open a sit-down restaurant in the vacant former Carol's Deli location. The applicant currently has a food vendor license for a food cart to service the east side over by the River Trails Park with a tamale wagon. She used to be the food proprietor to Ruben's Grill prior to his license not being renewed. So that's a little history of who's here before us this evening, and then it's up to yeah, your name and address for the record, and sir, Nelson, then you just introduce who you are and why you're here.
Okay, I'm an advisor. I'm a real estate person, helping them, translating and helping with some
of the business plan, things like that, because besides realtor, I'm an accountant.
Okay. Could we have your name and address, please?
Nelson Sosa, my address is 2646 West Gregory Street, apartment 2W, Chicago, Illinois, 60625.
Thank you. And ma'am, could we have your name and address, please?
No,
Elidia Mejia.
la dirección suya.
Is
Can you step a little?
Yes.
Thank you.
Elidia Mejia. My address is 275 Birch Street, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018. So, estoy aquí porque estoy aplicando para un restaurante.
He's here because he's applying for a state prison.
He tenido un carrito de tamales por 2 años y ahora quiero aplicar para un restaurante de comida mexicana.
Has been working in the car for 2 years in this neighborhood, and she's applying for a restaurant with Mexican food.
Okay.
He's her husband,
Okay.
and the treasurer of the corporation.
Okay.
Does he want to speak?
Would you like to speak? Okay. Come on over. You could say your name and address.
Okay, my name is Gabriel Vasquez. My address is 2075 Birch Street in Des Plaines, Illinois. Zip code is 60018. So I'm Lydia's husband. So we're working together in this project. So like she said before, so she has been working for 2 years in the wagon of food. So now we're gonna make a next step and open a restaurant of Mexican food. So we keep growing in the business. So we try to do the best we can with follow the rules and the whole processes. So that's why we are here.
Thank you. We have a very nice packet that you've prepared. Thank you for that. That's very helpful. That describes that describes your business plan and the type of restaurant and what you would be offering. Any questions from the commissioners to the applicant?
You have a very extensive menu. How many people are going to be employed?
At this point, there's 4. Her mother, and one more person. There are 4. Beside an office who's running the accounting and the payroll. So he's getting the proper advisor around.
It sounds delicious.
It is.
And one other question, I understand the direct sales, takeout, delivery, catering, and carts. Can you explain what the carts are?
In the car, she's doing it for 2 years. Serving on the street, she's got a place where she put the tamales and.
So is it like for festivals or where do you?
She's got a place.
Lydia, explain what you do at the park with the carts.
Ok, llego en las mañanas a las 6 de la mañana.
She gets at 6 a.m. every day.
Prendo el carro con mis tamales.
Turn the car with tamales.
La gente empieza a venir
And the people come.
y empiezo a vender mis tamales y estoy como por 2 horas y media vendiendo mis tamales y termino
Every
con
day,
todo.
2 hours and a half, she's selling her tamales. She woke up at 3 a.m.
We
to
work up really.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you do at that time.
From the staff perspective, she has received the proper food vendor license, cart license. Her cart is inspected. She does have her food manager certification and has passed our city requirements on her. For background information, the city of Prospect Heights has 5 food cart licenses. There's a couple of food vendors, a couple of ice cream vendors that primarily work on the east side over off of Apple Drive, the River Trails Park, and in that neighborhood. And Lydia's been one of the vendors there for the last 2 summers, or 2 years.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much for presenting Do we have anybody else from the public that would like to speak to this case? Okay, if we do not, then I would like a motion to close the public hearing at 8:05.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Voice call, please, Jen.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. I think we're looking pretty good on this one. Only-
When can we get tamales?
No samples? So the shopping center itself, though, in the other case that we're going to be hearing, you mentioned that there's paving issues. So that, those same issues would be also affecting this case, is that correct?
Yes, I was remiss and didn't add them into this report. However, the building's owner's family is here tonight, and they have started a compliance plan and have agreed to make pothole repairs and striping while they put together a formal maintenance plan for the property. And what will be heard in the next case is that this site will have to have proper accessibility, the state-required handicap accessible parking and signage, striping, and safe access with the potholes being repaired. The sidewalk should not have any trip hazards, and we will be looking at that as part of the building permit process. We have had commitment from the owners that they will be working to make those improvements.
So wouldn't it be appropriate to make that a condition of this special use permit?
Yes, it would be.
And are there any facade improvements that need to be done to this parcel?
This parcel has a little better facade. The whole, they've got significant roof damage. And at this point in time, they're putting some temporary roofing repairs as they, and then next year, the plan that has been given to the city is that they will be re-roofing the building. So they've asked to do temporary patch repairs until the formal roof is in. And the city's building department, we are fine from a permit side for that. So we could maybe just a statement and do it as part of the permit, making sure that it's safe and adequate, the facade.
So we don't, it doesn't have to be a condition, it could be just handled as a permit?
I would make the condition on the parking lot because that is a direct safety issue. The
Okay.
potholes, the striping, the accessibility, but some of the other facade improvements, it's hard to force, in my opinion, force them to paint the facade when you have roof leaks. And until the roofs are satisfied, I think we'd deal with it on the permit side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. All right, there is no other discussion, then I would like a motion to accept into the record the exhibits presented this evening.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Now I would like a motion to recommend approval of case 22-18SU, special use permit to operate a sit-down restaurant in B1 Retail District per section 5-6-3C of the City of Prospect Heights zoning code, with the condition that parking improvements be incorporated into the plan.
Yes.
So parking lot repairs and striping?
Specifically, parking lot patching, proper striping, and the required Illinois accessibility signage and striping.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Jen?
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye.
With conditions. Lydia and Nelson and This will be up on August 22nd, Monday night, same place at 6:30 PM.
August 27th.
Or, excuse, no, it's a
Second.
22nd, because the first is a Monday. The first Monday is the first, then the second's the 8th, and they meet on the 2nd and the 4th, but in August, they don't have the 8th meeting.
I apologize.
So it'd be August 22nd, 6:30 PM here. You will get a copy of the agenda and prior to the meeting. But thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Sorry. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote down 27th. Okay, the last case of the new business this evening is a PZBA case number ZBA 22-17 SU, 5 South Wolf Road. It's a public hearing, and the applicant is Stanko Kumanovic, address 16 East Old Willow Road, apartment 401S. And the applicant is requesting a special use permit to operate a sit-down restaurant in B1 Retail District. Can I please have a motion to open the public hearing on case ZBA 22-17 SU at 8:11?
I'll make that motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Saywert. Aye. Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. If we have the applicant and anybody else, I could swear you in before we get going. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. Director Peterson, do you want to?
Very quickly, the applicant, Mr. Klanovich, is the leaseholder for 5 South Wolf. He has been the leaseholder for many years and has previously had a restaurant there. Then he had a couple other people that operated restaurants in his space. Now he is back to operate it again himself. There is no, I know it's not under our purview, but the applicant is not seeking a liquor license on this particular spot. So, previously, he had a liquor license, and during that time, there were no serious calls, but some nuisance calls that, and then he did have a couple selling to minors, so he would not be eligible for a liquor license anyway. And as such, he is, he's eligible to open up a restaurant and go forward, and just needed to know that that's where we're at.
Okay. If the applicant would like to come up to the podium and present your case for us.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stanko Kuzmanovic. Oh my God. Stanko Kuzmanovic. My address, I'm Old Willow Road, 16, apartment 401. Address restaurant 5 South Wolf Road, Prospect Heights.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Have your rest of Prospect Heights, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Branka Lonkar, and I am a real estate agent. Tonight, I'm here on behalf of Stanko Kuzmanovic, just to represent him and translate because of his language. I am here.
And did you provide the address?
her address, just say, yeah.
Do you need my?
Just your address that.
The case, the address of the case is 5.
No, your address for the record.
Your contact address.
9827 North Warren Lane, Knox, Illinois, 60714.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you could give us, present your case to us, would be great.
20.
Tonight, we are here actually to ask for the license of the sit-down restaurant. The restaurant is going to be a traditional Serbo-Croatian Bosnian restaurant. Stanko Kuzmanovic, he's well-known cook, being here in the United States from 1997. So he owned many restaurants and many places where all the people from ex-Yugoslavia would go there, gather together, and having fun. So now he's back on his feet again, and he would like to present and open a new restaurant that all the people that know Stanko, how good cook he is, to come and join and actually support his business. Here in this area, we do have many people from our community that they own companies like trucking companies and all other restaurants that they would like to order food. We have 3 other restaurants that they are in Des Plaines and Elk Grove Village. Sometimes they are on vacation. Most of the time they go on summertime on vacation, go back home. But Stanko is planning to open his restaurant all the time and not go on vacation, which is like a good chance for him to work and make a business. All the people that they work in those companies, they like to order food. And we all know how like COVID hit us, and we appreciate small businesses so much that we can call and ask for delivery food to our places. So that's actually what Stanko is planning to do. Ja sam sad rekla sve što se da.
The location, what is the location for this new restaurant?
Pita za lokaciju restorana. It's a 5 South Wolf Road.
It's the previous, is it the previous?
It's the previous Rubens
Ruben
Grill.
Grill.
Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you for that, thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
I have a question on your business plan. It's the second to last. Your projected startup costs, looks like you estimate them at $47,000, but your funds available are 0. So where will you be getting funding for your startup?
Excuse me, Branka. Where the question comes from is here.
Ovdje je kao da imamo 0 u fondu, što je 47 da smo stavili da će to sada koštati.
Dobro, možemo napraviti tako, imam prvo.
So the Stanko says all the costs for the restaurant, it's going to be around $47,000. Some of the things that he already has in a restaurant, in a place, it's not going to cost right now. So altogether, whatever it's inside of the place, it's like less than 47. So whatever here it says, startup fund available right now because he didn't work for 6 months, but he asked for the credit and he got the credit and he has the money from people, from the church, from people that they will donate the money to support his business.
Are you involved in the other 2, the Elk Grove or Des Plaines restaurants at all?
Jesi li ti uključen u bilo koji drugi restoran u Des Plaines?
No.
No.
For clarification, I believe you were referring that there's 2 other Serbian Croatian restaurants in this community.
Yeah, I said, yeah. So there is the Boston Grill.
Competition.
It's going to be a little bit of competition, but most of our restaurants, they offer the same food, which is very popular for all of us. For example, if we have any holiday coming up now, like all the young women, they don't like to cook, so they like to order, and that's where we go.
Thank you.
We don't have a serve-in restaurant in town, so it would be quite nice.
And I'm sure you would be amazed with the food.
So we know from previous experiences that there's things that need to be taken care of as far as the building. We covered it in the previous case, and I think there might be a little more things to take care of within this case. Can you give us an idea of what you're planning to do and how you're planning to get it done?
Kažete sve tamo treba nešto da se uradi u restoranu, šta treba da se uradi, pa sad je prilika mi kažemo šta ćemo mi da uradimo i
Rećemo sve ćemo napraviti kako kažemo. Sve ćemo uraditi kako kažemo.
So there is not actually much to do inside of the place. Of course, Stanko is planning to paint. It already has like a bar, kitchen, all the restrooms, they are there. So he is going to change the floor. He's going to decorate a little bit of the bar, paint, and cleaning. So he will put all the new tables inside of it. So that's what his plan is for the start.
And when do you, everything goes well, when do you plan on opening the restaurant?
September 1st. Ako sve idealno kao što smo bili September.
So Dan?
Yes.
Quick question. Looking at the layout that they have,
Yes.
I'm assuming these bathrooms are not ADA compliant as they are now?
Actually, when Ruben's Restaurant came through, and I believe it was prior to you serving on the PZBA, he was required to put in 2 ADA bathrooms. This is not to scale.
Okay.
And the third bathroom, there is a third bathroom in there. It's a staff bathroom. It's tiny, it's not this big.
Yeah.
I think they just did this more as a representation.
Okay.
But the bathrooms are code compliant. There will be some kitchen equipment improvements that the health department's gonna require, but I think his statement is fairly factual that the guts of the building are there. It's,
Okay, I just concerned that he has a budget he's working within. He's gonna find out that these bathrooms are not ADA compliant. That could be a big additional cost. to him.
I do have a question also, Director Peterson, as far as, I'm assuming that that's outside seating?
that, they're representing it, that would probably not, in the current condition of the soffits and the stuff out there, wouldn't be permitted. In the summertime, we do allow some restaurants on special permit for temporary use for that. But we do inspect it for safety, for conditions, making sure it could be an option. I think they're trying to represent that, and I don't mean to speak for you, correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears you're trying to represent the capacity that the restaurant could hold.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
No, they do have a bar shown on here,
Yeah,
but
that's-
no alcohol at this bar, or
You get
just
the
a
same
food?
thing.
The previous owner, Ruben, did have a liquor license and video gaming. However, that Mr. Avilas did not renew either of his business licenses or his liquor licenses, so it would be just mainly for counter seating like a cafe.
That's exactly what I want to say. Usually, like all the people, me personally, when I bring my family there, we like to sit by the bar and have coffee. We have traditional coffee, Serbian coffee, that we drink and talk with each other. So it's not necessary that we have to sit by the table and order food or something. So that could be used for that.
Good.
Kaže se bar. Kako mi sjedimo za bar.
Regarding the past violations or any kind of violations that had happened previously, if you get a special use permit and those violations would reoccur, then does the special use permit get revoked?
There is a process under the city zoning code to review incidences, but if this incident is significant enough, yes, the special use permit can be revoked by the administrator. in the city council. But there would be notices, proper notices given to the applicant of the violations, similar to the revocation of a liquor license or any of that. We do have a process in our city code for that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, thank you for presenting for us. There's no other comments. I'd like to, like a motion to close the public hearing at 8:25.
I'll make that motion.
You have a second over there.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
I have one quick question. Director Peterson, do we need to bring this into?
Later. We'll get to that next.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye.
Me next time.
I have no other comments. I mean, I'm assuming we understand that the same parking lot improvements will be part of this condition for this request. And any other work that needs to bring this space to be accepted by any other governmental agencies.
So my understanding is that the interior work, if there's any code compliance, that could be handled in a permit process. But, so that does not need to be part of a condition, but if it's something that the owners of the building is responsible for, we talked about the parking lot and possibly the facade repairs. So those should be part of the.
Correct. I would recommend the same conditions that were presented to the previous case be added to this one, because it's the same requirements, pothole striping, signage, and the basic safety to access the space.
And what about the rotted, damaged wood on the facade?
That will need to be addressed because we don't want, people getting hit with, temporary repairs on the facade, so that part of the, doesn't come down, it has to be safe. Okay. Well, what is, I don't know what your lease says about who's responsible for what portion of the property, but I think the ownership will work with you. Doesn't have to be permanent, but there are some areas near your restaurant, Stanko, where there's rotted wood hanging down. That has to be made safe, okay? That's what we're getting at, okay? So I think it would be appropriate to add that as another, and it doesn't have to be the whole facade to all the storefronts, but in front of his restaurant.
So it has to be made safe.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, can we bring this layout into the exhibit 10? Okay, can I, with no other discussion, can I please have a motion to accept into the record the exhibits presented this evening for case 2217 SU? Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye. Okay, can I have another motion to recommend approval of case 2217 SU, special use permit to operate a sit-down restaurant in B1 Retail District per Section 5-6-3C of the City of Prospect Heights zoning code, with the condition
Parking lot patching, striping, handicap accessibility, and the soffit made safe in front of his space.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
roll call, please, Jen.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner DeGraff.
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye.
Commissioner Sayward.
Aye.
Chairman Kempa.
Aye.
Again, August 22nd, 6:30 PM here, you will get agenda and report. Thank you very much.
Okay, this concludes the new cases. Next is public comments.
Thank you.
Good luck, Stanko.
We will be having a public hearing next month. We'll have old business to attend to, plus we'll have a new business. Specifically, earlier this year, the city was presented with a potential subdivision application for the Allstate property. The applicants, Allstate, and the potential purchaser were originally going to be wanting to come to the city of Prospect Heights. During the review process and the development, we had intergovernmental discussions with the village of Glenview, Allstate, the applicant, and because of Glenview's ability to service them with more utilities than we were, we negotiated a de-annexation of 32 acres of land along Sanders that is city jurisdiction, and another future 20 acres seceded to the village of Glenview. In return for that, the city will be receiving a minimum of 18% of all property taxes, sales taxes, and other fees generated on that property for as long as that property is in the village of Glenview. So it's a forever, we will be getting a percentage, and the 18% is approximately the amount of land value that we had in that whole development. So the city and the village of Glenview negotiated deals, and it was in the newspaper this week that Dermody Properties, the purchaser of the Allstate property, and Glenview got the approvals and the entitlements. So as a result of that, we will be coming forward with some map amendment, text amendment language, because we will have to be doing some adding and reconfiguring of a couple of our other zoning districts to accommodate some uses that were on that property that need to be accounted for. So, but the good news is we will have an absolutely wonderful new partner next door that we will be receiving a financial fiscal benefit from here on out.
What are they building?
About a 3.2 million square foot e-commerce campus. 10 buildings. And, you know, everybody knows our tax structure here, and so there wasn't a whole lot of property tax value that we would have seen on the deal, but based on this current configuration, we will get a piece of the property tax rate that are paid to Glenview.
Nice.
So, yes, it would have been fun to have a huge e-commerce $3.2 million project to be plan reviews and zoning for. We would have had some late nights, but on the other side, we did not have I think the decisions were fine.
Free money is free money. I don't mind working, but.
So, that being said, we did get the permit application in for Space Cat tattoos, so work is starting in that unit. And we're just really busy upstairs.
Any other updates on any other projects that we've got going on in the city?
Barcelado took down a city icon. The old Nico's pole sign came down last week, as did the drive-in canopy. So 40 years of history hit the ground last week. They have started doing their interior demolitions and significant work where the canopy was, where they had gotten approval for the outdoor dining due to some conditions out there. They've decided to go to a full addition, not an outdoor. So all the other things meet, so it did not need to come back on that, so.
When is the projected opening date?
They were hoping before Christmas, but due to some delays in getting some drawings and some other technical stuff, I think we're realistically looking in Q1 of '23.
What about the place next door to us here?
They've got their demolition permit. They got approved on Monday night for their liquor license, so they are moving forward. I'm supposed to be getting construction plans ASAP. One of the holdups, and we didn't know this, but the applicant who was buying the building couldn't close on the building until he was sure that he had the approval for the liquor license. Why the seller put that as a contingency, I have no idea, but it's on the books. He can't actually physically get it until it's ready to open, but at least the zoning or the liquor license approvals have been granted. So that restaurant will be good. He did take over the extra space that was the vape shop. That vape shop will be moving over to Prospect Crossings into a little 500 square foot retail spot. And so it'd be nice to have the brick fired oven pizza place here in town.
That'd be cool. Any update on the cell tower and Lexington?
The cell tower, funny you should ask. They started doing their reinforcement yesterday. Their permits were issued, and the pole hardening project has started. And we'll be monitoring it for a while. Lexington Homes, all the approvals, all the governmental agreements, and all the ordinances have been approved. We're just waiting on Lexington to close on the property with the property owner.
Is there anything else that we have to do with that?
Nope. Let me rephrase it. We may have to review the final development plan because of the well and on that.
Okay.
What's the cell tower gonna look like?
A large pole with a cylindrical shroud around the antennas. Have you seen some of the 5G antenna extensions on the light poles along Hens Road down by Schoenbeck and Buffalo Grove Road on the south side of the street? It's kind of gray, goes up and then has the round vented magnified. That's what the final approved design at council was, similar to that.
Okay.
So people won't be looking at large antenna arrays.
Or a large pine tree?
Gone. 1 second.
Yes, we're here tonight in response to a notice of public hearing. This date, time, and location, and it's not obvious to me that the issue's been addressed. If I could show you what I'm speaking of.
It's on the bike trail.
Oh, okay.
It was put up, and we're wheeling.
Oh, here's what happened. Someone took the sign from the shopping center and put it on the bike path.
Santa's helpers.
No, that sign is like $450, and we've had 2 of them stole, so I went by and couldn't find it, and then we got a call from someone that it was on the bike trail. So that's where we found it, was on the bike trail. So I don't know how it got moved, but sorry you had to go through this and stuff.
You know what, it was very, very interesting. It was a good example of, government at work. So, we didn't find it boring at all.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate taking the time to come and talk to us.
See you next month.
Please spread the word and come back next month.
And should,
Regard to a shopping center?
at the corner of Wolf and Camp McDonald where the
Pizza.
the other corner where the carne asada, the El Pasea, that mall. That's where those 2 restaurants are gonna be going in. Yeah, this one here, and then the other one's gonna be a brand new one, the tamales. And I'll admit, her tamales are really good. So in the future, if you have any questions,
call the number on the sign and we can answer.
I got voicemail. Press 1, press 2.
Oh, you know what? I am so sorry. The city hall, our voice over internet phone system crashed about a month ago. So we haven't been able to get really good in calling. Today they solved the problem. I am so happy. But thank you very much for taking the time to bring that up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, I have no other.
No other
Get
communication?
their name or anything? No? Okay.
Any other things we want to discuss? Can I please have a motion to adjourn the July 28th PZBA meeting?
Before I say much, you did a good job today for the first time.
Great job.
We want to welcome Jerry Simmons, our newest member.
Yes, yes. Hey, all in favor? For the closing of the vote?
I need a motion.
I did have a motion.
But who answered?
They're not listening to me.
I'll second.
They always joke around.
First the motion.
Okay.
Machi made it, Neil seconded it.
All in favor?
Yeah,
The chairman can make a motion?
Yeah, when he wants to get out of here, he can make the motion.
All right.
You can say Neil made the motion, Jan seconded.
8:41.
Jan seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed?